Welcome to Interested Food News. We began our newscast with good news as we found that to meet increasing demand for meat raised without certain antibiotics, top U.S. chicken company Tyson Foods Incorporated and rival producers are turning to sanitizing wipes, bacteria-reducing fog, and even oregano to keep birds healthy. According to the Allied Chain Reuters reporters Tom Polansek and Lisa Bartlin, some companies have spent years of trial and error on new techniques to figure out replacements for human drugs, part of a fight against the rise of dangerous antibiotic-resistant bacteria in people. Nationwide, more than 42% of the U.S. chicken industry has already committed to reducing the use of antibiotics, according to the Natural Resources Defense Council. With KFC move, that number is set to grow. Tyson, one of the KFC suppliers, set a goal in April 2015 to eliminate the use of human antibiotics from his broiler fogs or those raised for meat by the end of September 2017. Tyson's Director of International Veterinary Services, Bill Hethel, told reporters that the company wants eggs to be cleaner before they hatch and now ask farmers to rub them with sanitizing wipes before shipping them to a Tyson facility. Once the eggs arrive, Tyson places them in a room filled nightly with a fog of peroxide acid and is intended to keep the bacterial load as low as possible before eggs go to incubators, he said. Tyson has also started spraying hot water inside the hatchery to maintain a clear environment and increase spot testing for bacteria. Now the suppliers have improved hygiene and airflow in chicken houses to keep birds healthy and give them more room to move. Vijay Sukumar, Chief Food Innovator Officer for KFC USA Operations, told the reporters, "We had to convince our suppliers to go for the change, and then they worked with us." More than 90% of broiler chicks in its supply chain were raised without antibiotics, also using humans in the fiscal year 2016. The company also plans to switch its retail line for Tyson-branded chicken products to birds raised without any antibiotics. Perdue Farms, a competitor, say it eliminated routine use of all antibiotics on chicken last year. It now puts oregano on birds' water, banking on the herb's antioxidants to keep them healthy, and takes other steps to avoid drugs. In other news, our reporters Robin Linkson King and Jessica Murphy for the BBC News in Toronto inform us of maple syrup isn't used for pancakes anymore. That's to a group of male maple syrup producers in Quebec who are trying to turn the cottage industry into a global empire. Montreal Chief Martin Picard say maple syrup runs through the veins of Quebecers. Like the sap that flows from the trees each spring in the sugar bushes across the countryside, they say people who have never tasted golden syrup might be surprised by his unique flavor, which can be hints of toffee and spicy herbs and flowers. "This is the best sugar in the world," he affirms. The idea that maple syrup could indeed be seen as the world's best sugar is the diving ambition of the Federation of Quebec Maple Syrup Producers, who rebrand as its healthy and versatile alternative to white sugar. They promote the syrup as natural and, unlikely honey, vegan, which contains minerals like magnesium and zinc, unlike trendy sugar alternatives like agave. The campaign began sponsoring 2 women's soccer teams as part of the Health and Wellness Pitch. The Maple campaign has also been courting the country's top chef, and the Federation is the first foreign organization to be named as an association member of the Royal Academy of Culinary Art. The Federation and its efforts have helped turn a provincial cottage industry into big business. Michael Farrell, director of the Connelly University Maple Syrup Research Center, said that prior to the 1930s, maple syrup was made most in the United States. It used to be that every farm in the U.S., Northwest, and Canada will tap their own sugar maples and produce syrup, some to sell and some to keep. Widespread industrialization in New England and the rise of cheap white sugar mean that maple production in the U.S. fell into decline. Meanwhile, in Canada, production is still relatively stable, and part because of the local government support on the industry. But things really took off in the 1980s. about the same time that the Federation got to go ahead from the Quebec government to set selling the syrup together. Federation spokeswoman Caroline Sur said the decision by Quebec producers to work collectively and later to establish the Global Maple Reserve gave them more market power. Before that, it was something they did on the side, she said. By the end of the millennium, Canada will be the reigning king of maple syrup, producing about 80% of the world's supply over the next 2 decades. Canada maple syrup production will triple, largely due to the increasing demand worldwide spurred by the Federation's intense marketing efforts. About 85 to 90% of all maple syrup produced in Canada comes from Quebec, or about 70% of the world's supply depending on the year. The Federation controls nearly every aspect of maple production in the province, assigning quotas to the province in 30,500 farmers and selling the syrup to licensed wholesalers. It is a fine-tuned machine with the Federation backed by provincial legislation. Quebec is now ramping up production, adding 5 million taps into the next 2 years to meet the growing appetite for the syrup worldwide. The Federation has been spending about €3,700 a year promoting the maple in the UK, India, Japan, and the US. And they are preparing for it to continue growing in global popularity. The Federation wants Quebec to study how much maple could be produced in the province if trees were tapped to capacity. They believe production could be the double. And now, for the perfect start for the day, here we have some of Recommenders York's Best Breakfast by Sarah Wilson from Food and Drink. If you're looking for a warm and friendly staff, you can go to the City Center Breakfast, where you can ask for the Bailey Cafe and the tea rooms. The cafe serves also tea, coffee, and traditional-style breakfast. It's located just over the route from the Scenic Museum Gardens. If you're looking for a polished treason breakfast, Sarah recommends Barbacan or Walmgate, where you can find polished toast, which is like meaningful English but with polished bacon, and the coffee is lovely too. If you're looking for a full breakfast, you should go to Bistro Guy. The cafe serves live food during the day and in the evening turns into a bistro. Once a month, they also hold a theme evening for customers, which in the past has included Japanese night for customers who try their hand-making sushi. We also recommend Brew and Brownie, Cote Bossier, Kiosk Project Space, Manion & Co., Partition and the French House, Penny's Bespoke Food House, The Star in the City, among others. For more of our recommender, don't miss tomorrow's newscast of interesting food news. Have a nice day.